On Britain's Got Talent, we've seen countless incredible performances, but one audition stands out as truly unforgettable when a nervous saxophonist took the stage and left the judges in tears. His story wasn't just about his music, it was about overcoming fear, embracing vulnerability, and showing incredible heart in the process. As the contestant walked onto the stage, he looked visibly nervous. It was clear from the beginning that he wasn't your typical confident performer. The audience could feel his anxiety, and the judges, who have seen so many contestants come and go, could sense something special about him. Despite his nerves, he explained that playing the saxophone was his way of expressing himself and that it had helped him get through some tough times. His vulnerability immediately struck a chord with everyone in the room, setting the stage for what would become an emotional and powerful performance. When the music finally started, something incredible happened. The saxophonist, although clearly trembling at first, began to play with a passion and soul that transcended his nerves. His fingers glided over the keys with precision, and as the melody filled the room, the nervousness seemed to melt away. The audience was captivated by the emotion in every note, and it was clear that he was playing not just for the judges or the crowd, but for himself. The song he chose to perform wasn't just any piece, it was a soulful, emotional tune that seemed to speak to his inner struggle. The combination of his raw talent and the deep emotion behind his playing was overwhelming. As the music swelled, you could see the judges starting to tear up. Simon Cowell, who is usually tough to impress, had a look of complete awe on his face. It was clear that the saxophonist had struck a chord with him, not just with his playing, but with his courage to face his fears and perform in front of millions of people. As the song reached its climax, the saxophonist played with such intensity and grace that the entire room was moved. His body language showed just how much the music meant to him. Every note was filled with emotion, as if he was telling his personal story through the saxophone. The judges couldn't help but be affected by the beauty and vulnerability of the moment. The music wasn't just notes and rhythms, it was a glimpse into his soul, and it was impossible not to feel connected to him. When the performance ended, the room erupted into applause. The nervous saxophonist stood there, overwhelmed, unsure of what had just happened. The judges, however, were visibly emotional, wiping away tears and offering him praise. Amanda Holden, often known for her supportive and kind nature, was one of the first to speak. She told him that his performance had moved her deeply, and you could see how much it meant to him. David Walliams, also wiping his eyes, said that it was one of the most beautiful performances he had ever seen on the show. But it was Simon Cowell who summed it up perfectly when he said, "You have something truly special." What made this moment even more powerful was the sheer vulnerability the saxophonist showed. He didn't come to the stage with a polished, confident performance. He came with his heart on his sleeve. He wasn't afraid to show his nerves or his insecurities, and that authenticity made the performance all the more touching. The audience could feel his journey, from the nervousness before playing to the release of emotion through his music. It was a beautiful reminder that sometimes the most moving performances come from a place of vulnerability. The emotional reaction from the judges and the audience wasn't just about the music, it was about seeing someone push past their fears and give everything they had to something they loved. The saxophonist's performance was a reminder that talent isn't just about technical skill, it's about heart, passion, and the courage to be yourself, even when the world is watching. In the end, this performance wasn't just a competition moment, it was a life-affirming experience. The nervous saxophonist left the stage as a hero, having touched the hearts of everyone in the room. It's safe to say that his audition on Britain's Got Talent will be remembered as one of the most emotional and powerful moments in the show's history. It's proof that sometimes it's not about being perfect, it's about being real and letting your emotions speak louder than any note ever could.